up, my man of society? It is your host with the most, Shadow Look, back at you with another video. Now, before I get started, make sure you guys subscribe, like, all that good stuff, share. It's free. It don't cost anything. You'll help my channel get into the algorithm. I would highly appreciate it. You go ahead and do that. Now, I was asked on my other channel that how are you able to spot liars, and all of that, when somebody's a narcissist or sociopath, or when people are being played, right? And I have a video I'm going to react to, right, of a sociopath, right here, a compulsive liar. It's claimed to be ex-Italian mobster, Anthony Raimondi, but has already been exposed that it was all a lie and stuff like that. Which even before, he was exposed, I already knew, he was full of it just by his overall demeanor, just how, when he spoke, what he was saying, just his whole overall presentation just, gave off a gimmick, vibe. Obviously, YouTube, there's a lot of people that like to manipulate, a lot of people that like to con, lie, stuff like that. But how are you able to spot it? Right? Because sometimes people say that, well, these people are narcissists because, they tell stories about them taking L's. See, but that's when you go into the social path of things. A sociopath doesn't mind, telling events of maybe, even though it's probably lies, of them taking losses, because they play into people's emotions, right? Getting them to feel some kind of sympathy, sorrow, or that way they could, see that they're, really are human and not like what people say that they are. It's all part of the trickery, right? With a sociopath, not a narcissist. A narcissist don't like to be taking L's, you know what I mean? A narcissist will refuse to be taking L's or admit to taking L's. So, with those kind of people, those are sociopaths, right? Here's Anthony Raimondi right here.
I was in a club called Cadabras. Joe Colombo put me there.
Right off the bat, every time he goes on interviews, he always has the gold pinky ring and the watch and the outfit with the chest hair and the cigar that's not even lit, and he tries to give off this image of that he's a mobster. He tries so hard, like if it's the Hollywood typical version of what people would assume a mobster looks like. They have, there's plenty of channels out there that have interviewed mobsters. You see them, they're just regular Joes. Because in this world, whether gangster or mobster or whatever, people are just themselves, right? It don't matter like how you talk, how you dress, none of that. It's all about, your heart. And in here, when it's time to handle business, that you handle it. That's what a true, motherfucker is. But, the ones that try to facade it, always, dress up. You know what I mean? Because when you're trying to lie to people, the more you could drag them into your world, the more easier it is to manipulate them, right? So you give off this, you talk tough and you dress the part. That way you could trick people. It's more easier for people to believe you now with the gimmick. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to come off that way. Now, another thing I had pointed out before on my channel, I put a video, right? And in this video, the video was going, 5, 4, 3, 1, 4, 6, 9, 8, 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, and people were like, they didn't get the concept behind that video, right? And it's basically, the video was to demonstrate, try to remember the first number that was said. It's really hard when you're throwing random numbers everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So trying to remember the first number is very difficult. That's what people that manipulate like to do when they're telling their stories, right? When somebody asks them a question, when they answer it, they give runarounds, right? They give this whole entire, explanation with details and this and this and that and this. So trying to poke holes in their story or to try to, really get to the bottom of things is really difficult, when these people are just laying it on you, like, for example, right here.
15 years old, he put me there because they were all schooling me, but I was taking numbers back and forth. I was taking numbers, sports action, bringing it to the numbers bank or the sports bank, and then bringing it back. They decided to test me out, so they put me in this club called Cadabras. He told me the numbers money's going to come in with the slips, the bets for the day on the horses, sports action, everything. get it, you bring it down to 3rd Avenue or Carroll Street, or bring it up to 5th Avenue to Scaffy's Club. And that's where I made my money. All right.
You know, it goes like that. It gives like, it just like, he's just everywhere, right? And giving all these details, right? You know, of streets, events, everything like that, right? These people, when they tell their stories, right, they're so, how can I say, they're so specific, right, with the details, right? When they tell their story, you know, they remember each and every last detail, right? But except when they're being asked now another question about something else, they're like, oh, I don't remember, or I don't know. When it was just like, it was literally just like 5 minutes ago, my guy. You know, or like they say, oh, I seen some YouTube channel. I just can't remember the person, or they got me this thing yesterday, but I forgot what it was. You get what I'm saying? It's like you're not able to remember that, but telling a story now from back then and everything, you remember to the last single detail, right? But you can't remember this. You know, either you really have good memory, or you have really, really bad memory. Which one is it, my guy? You don't get to pick and choose, right? But see, they can't see their errors or their flaws, you know, when they tell, because they think that they're clever. They think that they could outsmart everybody, you know. But people pick up on all of this, right? We're able to catch all of this when people are speaking, you know, because we know what to look for when we hear people talk, right? We're able to see where the lies are and stuff like that, because it doesn't match up to overall, when we're talking about human behavior and personalities, it doesn't match up, right? Because, like I said, either you have really good memory, you have really bad memory. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about to the last details, when it's so detailed. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, well, some people, you know, could remember some special events and some things are not that important, so you couldn't remember the super important stuff in it. Yeah, but we're talking about just everyday average events. And when we're talking about details, we mean, you know, like, we mean a lot of details, my guy. You know, we're not just talking about something that's like, you know, and that's what we're getting to. That it just doesn't add up, right? Unless it's a story that's been rehearsed or, you know, invented, concocted in their head. That's why they give so much runarounds, because it makes it hard for the individual now to, you know, poke holes in the story. But here's the number one flaw, that when they continue telling this story, right, the same story, like what happened to homie right here, the story always changes. It went from this to now that to now that, and, you know, some videos were taken down, some videos, you know, are still up. So it makes, you know, him now saying that, okay, he never had said that, when people had already seen in the last video you did say that. Now you're saying now, but see, the newer audience doesn't know that, so it's easier to play it off now. But it's like, you already been, you know. But see, like I said, they think that they're smart and witty and that people will believe them because they think that they're really good liars. But like I said, all those lies end up just coming crashing down, you know. That's why it's never good to lie. But see, people like this are able to tell stories right on the fly, on the spot. And they make it seem like it's legit, right? So people believe in it, you know. But it's until you start asking all these questions that these stories start falling apart. Because they don't make sense. Time periods don't make sense. Individuals, you know, coming out and saying that, nah, what the hell? I don't know him. I was never with him or busted with him or anything like that. So, you know, their stories start falling apart. But see, they could just come on here, like they say, and be like, oh, excuse me, oh, they're the ones that are lying, or they're the ones that are, you know, they're hating and stuff like that, because, you know, they think that they're that witty when they're not. You know what I mean? But it's stuff like that, you know, where you're able to see the games being played, the facade, and like how he said, you know, where he had gotten beaten and took in losses and stuff like that. He admits his losses right there, because one, they're probably not true, and two, the rest of the story, he's talking about how he's the one that was doing this and that, making himself seem, you know, he raises himself up. So now you feel sympathy, and because he told that part that he must be telling the truth. Now you'll believe when he tells you about all the times he has won, because, you know, it's only one little small tale where he lost, and it really wasn't even like a loss, because they always end up saying that, you know, they ended up getting their backs, or, you know, they getting them back, or, you know, what they will, you know, cleaning up that one, you know, loss. And then now they start telling a bunch of, you know, wins, like massively. That is like, okay, my guy. They're the most interesting men on the planet, my guy. They've been through everything, and, you know, for ages, every day was a new adventure, my guy. um, it's wild. But that's how you're able to tell, just small, details like that. You're able to catch on when people are being honest or when they're just full of it. But that's just overall my opinion. Like I said, he's already been exposed. I mean, whenever you're breaking down human behaviors and personas, you got to give examples. That way the audience knows. But I'm just saying, Shadow, we out.